Well, good morning, everybody. It is currently 6:46 in the morning, and I have just gotten home from a 12-hour shift at work, and I'm about ready to sit down and start editing. We're getting today's vlog started a little bit early because we have a important subject to talk about. All right, guys, well, after getting promptly refueled with a couple cups of tea this morning, I've got myself a fully edited vlog, and as you can clearly see, it is almost 9 o'clock in the morning. So having been up since about 3 o'clock yesterday, I'm ready for bed. Well, that's it. Another day of working out. Now I need to get dressed, hop on the motorcycle, and get into work. So, on my way back from a pretty major work-related meeting where we were basically discussing a significant transition that's taking place, and it's a very, very big deal. It was an opportunity that I jumped on because I thought, oh, finally, there's something that I can do to stand out from the crowd and take that initiative. Good thing I'm not going south. A lot of blinking lights over there. Maybe there's a social group you want to get into, or maybe there's some type of an organization you want to be a part of. You got to put in that extra time to get the opportunity to get your foot in the door. You know, and then once you got your foot in the door, you got to look for another opportunity to pry that door open and become part of that group, of that organization. But you got to show that you're dedicated. You got to show that you're willing to put in the time. And as long as you're hungry for opportunity, as long as you're hungry to put in the work, eventually you're going to get that chance, as long as you prepare for it, and then once it shows up, you execute. And that's why I kind of joke with friends that I scheme. Excuse me, I'm still sick too. I scheme and scheme and scheme and scheme, and then I execute. You know, and scheming is just another devious word for planning. So I'm on my way home now. I'm going to grab my laptop and my bag, and I'm going to get something to eat on my way into the office, and I'm going to voluntarily go into work. I can't tell you the last time that I voluntarily went into the office. It's been a long time. But I'm energized, man. I'm really energized. I finally have a purpose that's not sort of rinse and repeat. Right, okay, so I know that the continuity of this video is all screwed up. I mean, you saw that it's daylight outside, and the last clip that you saw had it being nighttime, so very simply, it's been a weekend of like noob mistakes, so you'll just have to excuse the fact that it's still light outside, and we're all going to just pretend that it's still dark, right? So the topic of today's vlog, dealing with aspects of like work and success and wealth generation and everything that lies underneath that umbrella. Like so many things, it basically starts out with me having an opinion or an idea about something, and then some kind of a trigger mechanism. It could be a news story, it could be something I see out in public, any number of things. The topic of today's vlog actually spurred out of a news story that's been making its way around the internet, and it was about this 25-year-old girl who was a former employee of Yelp out in the San Francisco Bay Area, and how she had penned this open letter to the CEO of that company, basically saying A, that she doesn't make enough money, B, it's very expensive to live in the San Francisco Bay Area. And C, did you know all of this was happening? And as you can understand, there are people who are empathetic to her situation, and to the point where they actually agree with her and think that she did the right thing. And then you have other people who are either ranging from having no empathy whatsoever to having empathy but simply feeling like she made the wrong decision. The latter is probably where I would find myself, in the sense that I have an incredible amount of empathy for her position, because being 25 years old, I understand exactly what it's like to be struggling to build yourself a career, having to work those entry-level intro jobs and making very little money and not feeling like your skills or abilities are being recognized. And then ultimately trying to find a way to make ends meet with that. The thing that is so frustrating about this situation is that this type of an attitude is prevalent across our entire economy. Is that people want to be wealthy, but they won't work for it. People want to be famous, but they won't work for it. People want to have a big YouTube channel, but they're not willing to work for it. Their version of work is what they're doing right now, not understanding that it's going to take an elevated amount of that to get to where they want to go. So in the case of this 25-year-old woman at Yelp, she's got a difficult situation. And again, I can empathize with it. Living in the San Francisco Bay Area is very expensive. Very expensive. She's making significantly less money than what it takes to be comfortable in that particular part of the country. You know, she's starting in an entry-level position, which doesn't pay very much. The reason why entry-level positions don't pay very much, everybody, is because you don't have very much experience, you don't have very much knowledge, and your job can be accomplished by a lot of different people. But what baffles me is the notion that the first thing that she thought of, the first solution that made sense to her, instead of working harder than everybody else, instead of looking for management opportunities, looking for promotional opportunities, looking for ways to reduce your rent, such as moving in with friends or coworkers. I mean, she mentions that other people in the company are struggling in the same way. Talk to your coworkers. Get a place where 4 or 5 of you can live, and save some of your expenses that way. Look for places that you can cut. Yeah, maybe you have to cut your internet. Maybe you're going to have to struggle with, going to Starbucks to do your work, or to the grocery store, or places like that. Maybe you're going to have to take a smaller cell phone plan. These are the struggles that we all have to deal with when we're in that situation. You have to make tough decisions. You can't have everything and then complain about how you have nothing. The problem is that this overarching theme of either asking for money or demanding whether it is a livable wage, or demanding promotions, or demanding bonuses, this is not how people of success are built. This is not how you achieve success in the world, whether it is with personal relationships, professional relationships, careers, businesses. You're going to find very few opportunities in life where you're going to be able to simply ask for something and someone is simply going to give it to you. All of these situations have one thing in common, which is that the people that are involved in these situations don't possess the necessary characteristics of what it means or what it takes to be successful in their particular field of work. If you're on YouTube and you're trying to expand your channel, or you're trying to grow your audience, and the first solution, or at least the one that you feel is going to work the best for you, is to come to your audience and just simply say, hey, can you give me more money? Here's a GoFundMe account. You're not going to be successful at YouTube. I know plenty of struggles. I know what it's like to dig through your couch looking for gas money. I know what it's like to be so close to bankruptcy that you're literally ready to lose everything. I've been there. You know how I dug myself out of it? Got creative, worked harder. Those are the two solutions that I've employed in every aspect of my life. And even in today's vlog, I've had some really crazy things that have been happening in my professional career. I was just notified over the past week that my entire department that I work in, poof, it's gone. It doesn't exist anymore. There it goes, out into the wild blue yonder. It's gone. My job as I do it today is over. It is history. It is changing in a completely different direction than it has ever happened in the history of the company that I work for. So what do? Do I just sit around and No, instead, I take the opportunity, because there is opportunity. I take the opportunity in the situation, and I use my creativity, and I use my work ethic to work harder than everybody else involved, and I pull myself out of this shithole that I'm in right now. Some very positive things have happened this week. And that's not because of any kind of special education. That's not because of any kind of special connections. Folks, I'm doing this all with a high school diploma. I don't have a college degree. I went to college, but I don't have a college degree. I'm not even embarrassed to admit that, because I've made my situation work. And it's not even a case of having to be intelligent. You just have to be creative. You just have to be willing to think outside the box. I know it's a cliche term, but it's like, how do I take what I know? How do I take the people that I know and the resources that I have access to and make it work for myself? Okay, now I have a plan. This plan is difficult. What do? Work harder. Work harder than everyone else. Even if you're not as intelligent, even if you're not as well connected, even if you're not as resource rich, if you work harder than the next guy, you're always going to succeed. But at some point, you have to become creative in order to step it up to the next level. And in today's age with the internet, learning new skills and learning new things is easier than it has ever been in the history of mankind. Never before has the human species been able to elevate itself from an experience and skill standpoint so easily. If you're in IT, you can learn how to program in nearly any language with free tools on the internet. If you're a mechanic, you can pretty much fix just about any problem by watching a YouTube video. Google alone possesses an immense wealth of human knowledge about how to do just about any task. Fix a faucet, rewire a circuit breaker, tear apart an engine, rebuild a bike. Lay concrete, anything. Anything you could possibly think of, you can probably find it on the internet. Ultimately, the only way you're going to be successful, hard work, be creative. That's all I got. Thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate your time. Let's make the rest of 2016 the year that everything turns around. Everyone who is within the sound of my voice, I want you to make the rest of this year the year that you look back and said, that's the year that everything changed for me. We're going to do it together. I'm doing it myself. I'm trying to change the way I do everything around here. I've got new challenges, new goals for myself. I'm going to make this year count, without a doubt. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you out there.